I just love reading manhwas, man. They're just so much fun and enjoyable as well, with lots of tales and stories of different genres to be told. That is why for today we prepared for you a list of the top 10 manhwa where the main character becomes overpowered with his hard work. So, before we start, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already and press on that bell icon and set us all to be notified about all our latest new content. And be aware of the following spoilers. Coming in at number 10 is Rendezvous. In this manhwa, the main character wakes up from a coma induced by delinquents after they kicked him off the roof of the school. Somehow he survived too, but give him an award for the most resilient body. You'll find out why I said that here later on. The first thing he does is put on some clothes and gets out of the hospital that's in shambles to try and find out what happened exactly. He meets an old woman that gives him some food and tells him to watch out for muggers. Guess what happens next? He receives a big-ass bat right to his face and loses consciousness as they steal away his food. And that was one of the many beatdowns he is going to suffer. Fast forward and this guy goes to the shelter the country prepared for the people to gather in and decides to bring back the adult that helped him on his way there. The muggers are back, and guess what? He gets beat into a pulp again with the same baseball bat to the point I thought he was dead. But damn, does he have a thick skull. He survives the beatdown he went through, and the next thing he does is hop right back into the hornet's nest to try and rescue a friend / love interest. This time he wins a fight for once, but then gets shut down hard and gets his ass kicked yet again. I swear, this guy has some weird habit of getting his ass kicked. Enraged at his own losing streak, as well as his weak body, he decides to find a master to teach him and help him. And who better a person to train him than the guard of the food storage that kicked those delinquents' asses one time after another. This time he is burning with determination and is ready to take on whatever comes his way, except for the weird flying silhouette of a man. Who could it be? Nobody knows. Coming in at number 9 is It's Hard to Mix In with the Demons. The Heavenly Sect and the Demonic Sect have been at each other's throats for years now. And as things happen, the main character from the Heavenly Sect is mistaken to be one of the demonic sects and is healed by them. With no allies present around him, he has to keep up the facade of being one of them unless he wants to be torn to shreds. One thing leads to another and he finds himself in the heart of their city and base of operations, and after regaining his health, he decides to do the worst thing possible. Ransack a coffin with a body in it from all its belongings and make a run for it. Don't worry though, as karma will come back and bite him in his ass for what he did, in the form of an endless horde of undead zombies out to catch him. After he was rescued and relieved of his belongings, that he stole in the first place, he becomes a servant in order to pay his huge debt of 2 million. Poor guy. Coming in at number 8 is Bowblade Spirit. Bows have always been one of my favorite weapons along with spears. And if you like bows just as much as I do, then this manhwa is calling for you. In this manhwa, the main character is being trained rigorously under his grandfather's tutelage. He beats in him the training and battle methods day and night and watches him grow ever so powerful by the day. And what was next in the training? Nothing serious. He was just thrown into a dark sealed cave with a rabid wolf sealed in with him. No biggie. The drawings are rough and a bit on the edge, however, this manhwa has an actual depth and story and I find it quite enjoyable. Coming in at number 7 is The Heavenly Demon Instructor. I am sorry guys, but I gotta say, reading this manhwa felt like I was reading a cheap version of Solo Leveling and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Having a Child, which is honestly kind of badass in its own right. The main character himself even looks uncanny to Hunter Jinwoo, and now this ghost that is flying him to places and talking with him is exactly like how a stand axe and works. Don't get me wrong, the manhwa seems to have high potential and it's a fun read. For me personally, however, it wasn't my cup of tea. Coming in at number 6 is Infinite Level Up in Murim. Effort and training is all this guy has ever known, and his father always taught him to train as hard as he could and put all his effort, and it will be fruitful in the end. However, when he was on his deathbed faced by an unbelievable force of nature as he fell to his death, he lamented on his own weakness and inability to fight this adversary and beat this foe that annihilated his allies. As he closes his eyes and gives in to his injuries, he wakes up as a child again in his comfy bed with his mother and father present there. he received a second chance at life. Is he going to waste this life again? Or will he make the right choices that will lead his life on the correct path? Coming in at number 5 is Reformation of the Deadbeat Noble. Every day he swinged his sword, never missed a single day or stopped for even a moment. For years all he did was swing his sword day in and day out. Even when he died holding his blade till the very end. Why did he train all that long? And what was it that he exactly was training this hard for? These questions haunted the main character of this manhwa, known as the Deadbeat Noble, as he kept dreaming about a weird person training endlessly with the sword. It was thanks to that dream that he left his bed and began to train day in and day out, trying to mimic the swordsman in his dreams. Thanks to his effort, he is spotted by a wandering Class S Knight and is recommended to go to Chrono Academy for swordsmanship to hone his skills and learn more about how to use his blade effectively. Coming in at number 4 is Poison Dragon, the Legend of an Asura. With the death of his family and his capture and torture, this child discovers his ability and immunity to poison to the point that even the most poisonous red centipede was not able to kill him. The poison sect took everything from him, and now it is his time to counterattack and show them who is boss. He needs to take back his life from the ones that took everything from him. Securing his escape route and with the help of the medical sect, he defeated his assailants and is set on a path of vengeance and payback. Coming in at number 3 is Eleceed. In this world, people with powers exist, and they are called awakened. Each awakened has a different power and ability from one another, and each is powerful in its own right. Some have super speed, others have lightning abilities. Some have abilities to create monsters and rule over them, controlling them. The limits are just so endless in this world. The main character of this manhwa used to always think that he was the only awakened, and thanks to past trauma, he decides never to use his abilities in front of others. Due to a fateful meeting with the all-powerful Thunder user Caden, he discovers that others like him exist, and is actually relieved that he isn't alone in the world. Caden's circumstances, however, have led him to transform into a cat in order to cloak his presence from the ones that ambushed him in a surprise attack, and is now stuck with the main character becoming more of a mentor of sorts for the kid, teaching him how to hone his skills and use those abilities of his. Coming in at number 2 is Heavenly Demon Cultivation Simulation. That just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? I bet the creator of this manhwa was a Sekiro Shadows Die Twice fan, since the main character looks a lot like him and is plunged into a first battle with impossible odds against an unyielding foe as well, and he loses his arm in the process. As he lays on his deathbed lamenting his weakness and thinking of just how it was impossible that he got ambushed, it comes to his mind that the info of their mission of recon was leaked to their enemies, which explains the ambush they fell into. As he dies, a screen pops up in front of him with 3 commands: load, restart, or resume. And obviously he can't choose resume since he is dying, so he goes for restart and wakes up back in the Heavenly Demon Sect headquarters undamaged and alive. Not just alive, but well. The only different thing is that words now are popping above his head and the heads of others around him, signifying lives, which he later discovers that he can take for his own advantage and save them up as chances. So let's say you killed someone with +1 life popping over his head, or if you wish, a coin, like how things were in arcades. This time he needs to organize his cards correctly and play it right. He can't afford to lose more chances in order to become stronger. He has to find a way to train harder than ever before, and find even more villains to kill and take chances, for if he hopes to make it out of this unscathed. And number 1 goes to Jungle Juice. Just when things couldn't get any weirder, they did. This manhwa with the most absurd title and weirdest story came to be. In this world, 2 species exist: humans and insectoids. The insectoids are practically human that got their DNA mixed with a molecule from a bug spray called Jungle Juice. Who sold this spray? What company? No one has any freaking idea. The main character is one of those victims of the spray after gaining powers and acquiring wings like a dragonfly. He hides his powers from the society around him and the world, even his closest friends, so he wouldn't be called a monster. An incident happens, and to save his girlfriend, he reveals his truth, sacrificing his reputation and popularity in college. Having lost it all, he decides to kill himself. And that is when his whole life is flipped when he is sent off to the Nest, the hidden city for insectoids, a haven of sorts, and in order to cure his insect form, he needs to become a valedictorian and ace all his tests. However, these aren't normal tests. These are tests to determine who will survive. These tests will awaken something deeply hidden inside of him, his instinct of survival. And with that, we conclude our video. If you enjoyed this list, I want you to smash that thumbs up button, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and press that bell icon to keep yourself notified of all our latest new videos. Also, comment down below on the anime you like the most on this list, if you're planning to watch any of them anytime soon. If you have any suggestions, place them in the comments down below. And as for now, I'll catch you later. See you in the next one.